Hello there, and welcome to the Glow Up Method. This is a place where we discover all things about ourselves so that we can personally live a life that makes us proud. Hi, my name is Natasha. I am so excited and lucky to be your host today. You know, that intro there, that has me like feeling all kinds of ways for the way I used to be. Never did I really imagine that my life was meant for me to be proud of. Never did I imagine it was okay for me to discover the things that make me happy. Never did I think it was okay to take care of myself. And so what this self-discovery journey has been all about has been rooted in self. And I know, I get it. Like as I say it, especially in this day and age where everything's about, oh, this person's a narcissist, oh, this person's gas. I don't even know these terminologies. I know for me personally, I thought anything to do with prioritizing oneself was selfish. And I was taught from an early age, being selfish was not a good thing, right? Like in school, we share our toys, we share our books, we share our blocks. I'm not selfish, I share. And that part of my identity became so strong that I got rid of everything to do with my own self. Like I did not know who my own self was. I didn't know my own self-worth. I didn't know what self-care was. Absolutely did not know self-love. I didn't know self-loathing. I didn't know how to support myself because I was taught and I believed, or my interpretation of the teaching was, taking care of yourself, prioritizing yourself is good, and sacrificing yourself is bad, and sacrificing yourself is good, right? So it's like you're having a snack at school back in the day when you used to be able to share a snack, and your friend looks over and they want one, despite the fact that they have all the snacks and all these things. And they're like, I want a piece of your snack. And you're like, this is my only snack. I plan this, I pack this, I really want it for myself, but that's selfish, so I'm going to give it to you. That is part of everything of which I was. I gave everything to everyone. I asked for very little in response. Like I never would be like, oh my gosh, I want a piece of your snack. Can I have a piece of your snack? First off, I thought that was wrong, right? Like I thought that like that would be me being selfish again, to be curious and wanting a piece of this person's snack. I had all these things tied up in me. And so I learned to not ask for things that I wanted. And I learned to not take care of myself. And I felt like that was just the baseline. That's what everybody did. That's what a good person does. That you will be liked and loved if you don't take care of yourself. And then maybe I'm going to outsource that and someone else is going to take care of me. Hopefully, right? Well, that's a lot of pressure to put on somebody who maybe doesn't have the same opinions. Maybe they did have self-worth and self-value and self-love, and they knew that they could not take care of you into the level in which you were asking for somebody to, you know, like for me in my partnership, I was looking for him to give me all the love I wasn't giving myself. I was looking for him to give me all the support I wasn't giving myself. I was looking for him to answer questions I didn't know the answers to and expect him to just know and get it right. He didn't have the tools or the capability to do this. That's my job. That's your job, is to discover with curiosity who it is you are, what things are going to make you experience your one and only life in a way that you are free of the judgment and concerns of others. Again, wanting to be liked, wanting to do it good, and wanting to be, you know, a great mom, wanting to be a good friend, wanting to be a great daughter, all those things created this space in my life in which I didn't always know who I was. Surrendering who I was easier, because if I didn't want to eat that snack in the first place, then giving it up made it almost easier. And so, but in the deep down inside of me, I knew I really wanted that snack, and I would learn how to suppress it in order to survive, in a sense. That became the default setting. And seeing somebody else experience the joy of eating the snack, now that did give me joy. So there was some pleasure in it. But at the end of the day, my whole life became about derived pleasure from other people's experiences. and that was great. As a mom, I can find joy when my kids went out there and they hit the ball, they made contact with the ball in baseball, or, when, they're playing soccer and they defended and saved a goal, or they actually got a goal, or, as my daughter is a cheerleader, she did her part as a team captain, as a role model, and she was able to be a support system for somebody else physically and literally. And emotionally, figuratively, I don't know what the word is, but like she also became this support system, not only in holding up, young ladies on her team and throwing them in the air and catching them again, and understanding, like I would tell her, you understand, like that is someone's baby, so you need to take this seriously. You don't want to be the one who's causing somebody, to fall or harm because you're not doing your job or you're not properly taking care of yourself. So it is a crazy sport. Like they always say, like in football, you're throwing a ball, we're throwing people. And it is so true. I've seen a lot of injuries and a lot of growth in there, but it is a experience. And then she also became like a mentor to some of the younger girls on the team, which was a great, again, that's my powerhouse. I love that stuff more than, any trophy for winning a national title or something. Like, you help somebody in their life, that is the best. And, I love that about her. So anyways, when you learn and spend your life thinking it's selfish to take care of yourself, it is a big transition. It is a big change and challenge to realize it isn't selfish. And like I say, there's like a part of me inside, because for 45 years, that's what I believed. I believed that taking care of me was so bad, was horrible, was selfish. I'm not a good wife, mom, friend, daughter, sister, whatever I am, a person navigating this world. And the beauty of understanding now that my idea, my thought on it was wrong, has been so liberating. It has been so freeing. But it doesn't come without challenges. I mean, you see, I almost cringe saying it sometimes in the beginning, because there's the part of me that knows, but then there's that part of me that's just so ingrained, that default setting that wants to be like, no, this is bad to take care of you. And like I said, when I've had friendships and I've had relationships with my family that have splintered or are no longer in existence because I stood up for myself. I didn't back down and give them exactly what they wanted. I mean, I said it in the most compassionate, wordy way I possibly could, to hopefully have some understanding of my perspective. But at the end of the day, for someone who was accustomed to me giving everything they wanted whenever they needed, and having no opinions or no conflict. I tried not to have conflict, because if I have conflict, you're not going to like me. You're not going to love me. And I'm a little distracted right now, because there is a wasp or a hornet that is coming out and wanting to create homes, because it's a beautiful spring day. So hopefully he will not gather here. I've had him sometimes come into the window here, and it scares me. I don't know what to do. Again, one of those benefits of working things out with Chris is, like the mouse in the garage, and, a hornet, and certain things that I'm like, I can figure it out, but it is darn nice to have a man as somebody else who's gonna do it for me. I'm gonna be full disclosure on that. Like, as much as I am a forward progress woman, I am not the one to deal with the bugs. I am not the one to deal with the rodents, especially no, I'm not that. But I'm saying there are many small and large benefits to having a man around and saying, you know what, you got it, you got this, or a partner, or whoever it is. Somebody could be brave. Sometimes my son isn't the one who's getting the spiders, it's his girlfriend. So no judgment. If you're the brave one in the family, we need you. But the thing is in order to transition into taking care of yourself, you got to really understand and listen to that feeling inside. You got to really be curious about what is it. And you have to be open to the fact that transition, like we talked about yesterday, is really messy. at times. It's difficult. There's challenges, but as you move through it, it gets easier. As you move through it, it becomes all worth it. I've got a lot of things I'm spinning right now. I got to take my son to PT. I'm working on some paperwork. I got one piece of paperwork wrong. I got to resend paperwork. I'm doing a lot of things. I'm waiting patiently waiting for this loan to go through. I'm transitioning into a new membership at my club. All these different things happening, and some things high priority, right? Some things not so high priority, but they're on my list. And they do take time, and they do take concern. I've got lots of things I want to do and grow on here. I really have this in a few days. I think in a matter of a week, I'm going to be starting a new coaching program where I get to, utilize that information. I'm going to lovely share it here with you guys, and we can just go on this journey together. Because this is what it's about. And maybe you don't connect on Facebook. Maybe we don't connect on LinkedIn. Maybe you don't find my YouTube, but maybe you will, and maybe somebody will. And if this is out there, I do believe at the right time, at the right place, information is going to get to you, and you're going to understand. It's going to click to you and be like, this is exactly what I needed. So I really keep going back to this. And the number one step is you really need to prioritize you. And I know for some of you out there that are like me, that is against every fiber of your being. But as soon as you start doing it, that transition into caring for yourself becomes easier. It is always a part of you that struggles. Like I said, it's been a few years for me now, and I still am like, what are people going to think? I'm saying take care of yourself. I'm saying prioritize yourself. And by saying that, I'm not saying don't take care of others or don't prioritize others. I'm just saying you deserve a seat at the table. You deserve all that love and care that you so generously share with this world, yourself as well. And I feel like taking care of yourself in a inside out fashion for many of us is a challenge, right? Like, it is acceptable for us to take care of ourselves from the outside in. I mean, it is, you can walk into any supermarket, any grocery, Target, Walmart, you go walk anywhere, Costco, and you see aisles of facial creams and teeth whitening things and hair products. Taking care of yourself from the outside in is acceptable. And sometimes taking care of yourself from the inside out is not as accepted universally. Especially because so many people have learned how to treat you based on the way you've treated them. And if you've prioritized them, that's their expectation. I've talked about it on here before. My kids and Chris, they didn't ask for these changes. They didn't have a problem with the way things were going. They liked someone to do all the dishes and cooking and cleaning. They didn't want to be assigned to chores again and have them reinforced. They didn't want to change their life. They were comfortable. And I would have been too. And I realized in that situation that I was being a martyr a lot of times to protect them and ensure their joy and happiness. But was I really, having these things done for you, but having a miserable mom at times? I don't really think so. I mean, especially as I've listened to conversations with my kids and their memories of me as a bigger person. And, they're not understanding. They're like, I think you were just hungry. And I was like, no, I was just exhausted. I was overwhelmed. I didn't have the words to communicate it. I felt really unsupported. And I really didn't utilize the resources around me. And I have no one else to blame but myself, because I didn't ask for the help. I didn't, want the help in some ways. I mean, it's like I secretly wanted it, and I wanted some hero to just come and magically know exactly what it was I needed. That was my job to discover. That was my job to then discover and then to communicate with those around me. And that doesn't mean that it's going to get done. Like, I can communicate my frustrations about, the dishes not getting done as they're supposed to. And perhaps they'll get it done, but perhaps they won't. So again, this is up to them to respond, right? And then again, it comes back to me is, well, how do I respond to their response? What do I do? And a lot of times before, it was simply a reaction versus a response. I was just living in my emotions instead of understanding like, hey, okay, this is a feeling. It's going to come. It's going to go. What are we going to do with it? How do we process it? So I think in this time is this reminder. So I didn't go to the gym for like a week because my instructor was out at a conference. And today was this reminder. It was really hard. Like, it takes a long time for change, but sometimes we can quickly lose things. So like today at the gym, I was really like, whoo, I got winded. I was slower. Like my muscles were hurting from jump. And I was like, wow. But it was this reminder of how sometimes when it feels easy, we don't always understand or see the benefits, but clearly they're there. We're just stronger. So we are able to handle that load a little bit better. And so, yeah, there's going to be days and times in your journey in which you are thriving and things are easy and comfortable. But there's going to be a lot of times in which you struggle. Like I did today a little bit. Like emotionally, I was so happy, but physically, man, it was a doozy on me. And so I just kept reminding myself just to show up the best as I could that day. And that was going to be my baseline. I'm not, I heard multiple people today talk about this. Like, oh, I love that class, but I feel like I'm always 2 steps behind, or I'm this. And I'm like, listen, it doesn't matter. It's you against you. Nobody is watching. And if they are, kudos to them, because I have no idea. And I've done this class a lot of times. And I would say I'm one of the advanced students in that sense, that I've done it so many times. But yeah, I get things wrong every class, sometimes every song, and I don't think anybody's watching. And if they are, and they're going out there like, oh, did you see her in song 3 that she did her left foot instead of, who cares? Like, who cares? I'm here to work out. I'm not on a performance to get money at the end of the day, or some kind of special job or something. I'm just here having a good time and realizing in this journey that before I had this misconception that health related to pain. I related health to being like, you can't eat anything you like, and you have to torture yourself on doing exercises you hate. And what I've realized is those 2 things were so wrong. Part of this self-care journey has given me this revelation. I looked at things curiously. I had the courage to explore alternative classes and be like, okay, I can start on the treadmill and the elliptical and the bikes, but I hated it. I was bored. I felt alone. And realizing I'm a person who thrives within a community. I love hearing stories. I love people. I love seeing progress. I love being an inspiration to others and their journeys. This is the perfect thing for me. Other people may love their treadmill and their elliptical and their bikes and their weight room. And that's great. That's why we have them, because there's so many different things that people can do within even a gym, within a life. So, for me, exploring and finding what it was that worked for me is part of this evolution of designing a life that makes me proud. And that's what we're doing. And I share my stories about me because, hey, I know me. Or maybe I share the stories of my friends or my kids or Chris or whatever, because I know them, right? I know their stories. I know what's happening. But for you, that's what I want to motivate. I want to inspire you to go on this exploratory journey with yourself, to be curious and know that you're not going to get it right. Every class you join isn't going to be the one, but sometimes it's going to take one class. Sometimes it's going to take 100 classes for you to be like, this is it. This is the class that, like, for me, I am willing to get in a car and drive 30 minutes for, and dance for 50 minutes and then drive another 30 minutes home. That is the thing, like, for me personally, that shows I'm willing to do whatever it takes to experience this because it connects with me. I want you to find what connects with you. What is it? And the more that you do the things that connect with you, the more comfortable you become, and more you realize the things that don't connect with you. And you don't necessarily feel comfortable any longer sacrificing yourself doing the things that aren't comfortable to you. Now, again, we're in relationships with people, right? If you want to be on an island alone, that's great. You can just do everything you want. But in relationships, there's compromises, right? Sometimes we do things that we want to do, and sometimes we do things that they want to do, and sometimes you do things that we want to do together. Like, that is part of it. And I think that communicating that and acknowledging that, like, Chris is like, it's not like his favorite thing to do is play board games, but he knows I love them. And my favorite thing on earth isn't to watch shows, but I know he loves them. So, getting to experience these things that somebody you love loves and build your relationship is really, really important. But in order to do that, you have to know yourself, because otherwise you're always the one who's going to sacrifice, and you'll sit there like I did for so many years watching TV and just despising it and like, we're always watching TV, let's watch another show. And eventually it got to the point where it was like, I cannot watch another show. There's nothing left of our relationship besides this. So I'm just gonna live this life by myself, which was great. I, again, think everything has a purpose and a reason. I'm so grateful for it, because that space and time gave me all that space and time to explore who I was. Yes, it came with challenges. You saw many of them. It was difficult for Chris. It was difficult for me living with Chris. And unfortunately, it was really difficult on my kids. And, of course, in an ideal world, it would have happened in a lot healthier of a fashion, but it just didn't. And it is what it is, and I can't go back and fix or change it. But what I can do is be different going forward. What I can do is acknowledge that I'm so grateful for that experience, because everything that happened led me to here. All the things with Chris, I am wrapping up and doing parts of these things, these projects that I've been working on the side end here, that have been lingering since 2019. That's a long time. 5 years, 6 years of these things just lingering over my head. So again, the breakup and the separation was this catalyst for even further independence, but yet this interesting need for me to be with somebody. I really always thought of myself as this independent person who didn't require the love of anyone, that, it was just this thing. But I do, and I am a human too, and I do want to be seen, heard, and loved, and I now acknowledge that. I now have had that lesson thanks to this experience. So I'm so grateful for it, right? Like, ideally, again, things would have happened so differently, but they just didn't. And so to sit here and dwell or waste my time, what ifs, could have, should have, such a waste. Is like, how are we going to be different going forward? How am I going to live a life that makes me proud today and going forward? And does that mean we get it right every time? No, it doesn't. But it does mean that that's what our goal is, and that is what we're working on. And it's all about, let's say it together, it's all about the journey. It is not about the outcome. And I feel like I need to beat that in, because so often when we do things, it's in this pursuit for this thing, right? It's in this pursuit for this certain pant size, it's in this pursuit for the certain dress size, it's in the pursuit for a certain number on a scale, it's in this pursuit for a certain title under our name for our careers, or any kind of thing. And when we focus on the outcome, we are giving just one option, right? And we are deriving all of our joy, we are focusing all of our why on this one thing. And what happens if that one thing doesn't happen? What happens if you do everything right and you still don't lose the weight you wanted? What if you do everything right and you don't drop the pant size you wanted? Then it feels like it was for nothing. It feels like you wasted your time and your energy, and it puts this negative spin on this really magical and amazing journey. So when we focus on the journey, it's not just about the outcome. The outcome is the cherry on top. When we focus on the journey, we're able to appreciate the moments, the little moments, because that's what it is. Our life, it's just a combination of all these little moments. This moment here we're sharing together, and this moment that you're going to be having in a few minutes without me. That is life. That is life. It isn't just where I became. It isn't just buying the house or buying the car or becoming the CFO. It isn't all that. It isn't the number on the scale. It isn't the pant size that you're wearing. It is about the experience of life and enjoying it. And so often I've been very curious about this. You know, I've been talking about the decluttering and getting rid of things. And of course, that information comes to me because I do believe synchronicity is always at work. And so whether it be that information is coming to me when I need it, or it is just, I'm just a little bit more in tune to it. I heard this great thing, and it was talking about how many people, as they age, they begin to get rid of their personal belongings. And they realize that all those things that we attach so much energy to, all this desire and wants, it doesn't change who we are. I'm back. My phone overheated here. So, but basically what I wanted to say is, as many people age and get older, we realize all these material possessions, all these cars, all these things, they don't matter as much as the internal experience and journey. And the more we give away and the less we prioritize all the things and understand that the thing we need most is our inner peace, our inner joy, and sharing and being of service to others, we realize those other things that we prioritize for so long really don't matter. So I say all this to say thank you so much for tuning in today. First off, you know this, I would love for you to give yourself a big smile, give yourself a compliment. Today, my compliment is I love that I could just smile through my classes and really feel that joy of being in there. It just makes me so happy. And today we turned in a certain way that I got to see all these other faces smiling, and it just emitted so much joy. So I loved that moment today. And then once your life is in a place where you can do it or you can't and you need to fake it and make it, I really want you to go out there and give somebody else a smile, give somebody else a compliment, and watch how they glow up. And then you glow up together. So thank you so much. Bye.